Everyone, well, we are here in this stupendous institution called TopClass. Really have a good time teaching English here. And well, today, Javi, I'd like for us to talk about pollution and this energy crisis we're having today. Some people would like to get rid of fossil fuels. What do you think about that?
Well, I think the topic is very interesting and extremely important because right now we are seeing some of the effects of climate change. We have had for the past 10 years, every summer has become increasingly hot. We've Records have been broken. Right now, there's a bunch of things happening around the world, but everything is a result of the entire world not following their commitment to those kind of policies that they promised 15, 20, 25 years ago regarding trying to be greener, trying to avoid using fossil fuels and non-renewable energies.
Okay, I see your point, Javi, but
Yeah.
what about economy? I mean, if we stop using fossil fuels, what will happen to our economy? I mean, we transfer everything with things that need fossil fuels. I mean, and besides, well, I don't think that all these things you're talking about is due to using fossil fuels. I don't know.
Only specifically about fossil fuels. Yeah, that is totally correct. I agree with that point. Not everything has to do with fossil fuels. A big part of also would have to be regarding the meat market, because to produce a kilogram of meat, you require, I don't know, 10 liters, 20 liters of water. I don't have the exact numbers right now, but yeah, there's a bunch of factors regarding it, so we cannot blame it only on one specific area. However, your question regarding, okay, so what about the economy? What about the jobs? It's a very valid point. That's actually one of the things that most people, when talking about these subjects, are very, very picky about. Like, what are we going to do if we cannot continue with the same level of production or the same rate of production, whatever side you want to talk about? And yeah, it implies that we will have to degrow the economy. Socially speaking, it would mean a big amount of unemployment. It would mean that the economies would basically fall apart. But this is, of course, a personal opinion based on much smarter people than myself, economists that are seeing this, people that are noticing the changes that the world is going through. And basically, they're saying, okay, so we either change the system or we sacrifice humanity, because that's the price that we're going to pay if we don't change something about it. Sorry.
Well, I see your point in there too. Eh, but don't you think that if we could educate people on properly use fossil fuels, on properly, um, eh, I mean, things like throwing trash in the ocean, uh, trash in the forest, don't you think that could do a much better, bring much greater benefit to us? I mean, for example, a lot of forests are being destroyed because of fires.
Yeah.
You know? But a lot of fires are caused because of people just throw trash in there. And then the sun heats the plastics and stuff,
Yeah.
and fires get started.
Yeah.
Um, we're doing a greater damage to our world by being so sloppy. Pardon me for using that word, but we are being so sloppy in treating our world. So there are other things we could use than reducing to a greater extent the use of fossil fuels. I mean, we should stop using them, but I think we should do it gradually. If we cannot find a, a better source that will help our economy, will help people to even keep their homes warm.
Yeah.
You know, what's happening in Europe right now with this war between Russia and Ukraine? Russia is threatening to stop the fluid of gas, natural gas, from flowing into the countries who need them.
Yeah,
And what would happen in the winter? I mean, people can also die
yeah, that is true.
from not having their warmth, their houses warm. So it's another thing, you know.
I don't know how much this kind of a very sensible topic because sensitive topic because yeah, the situation with Russia not providing gas for the European countries and a couple of others that are close by. Yes, that's a big issue, and that presents very clearly how
Yeah,
addicted we are to those energy sources. And totally correct. However, I don't know if creating a greener conscience on people, being more conscious about the amount of garbage or disposable stuff that we constantly throw away, would actually help the environment because most of the pollution is actually generated by around 100 companies worldwide. And yes, part of that argument is that we are, as consumers, also responsible, but we have to be very clear on who has to take the brunt of the responsibility regarding the amount of pollution being generated and how it's impacting the rest of the planet.
yeah, I agree with you. I mean, these companies that make a lot of money with fossil fuels, they should be the ones who should, well, look into this problem and find solutions for it. You know, also the governments are the ones that should find solutions for them. But we are here. We are the ones who use their products, and we are responsible for that too.
Completely.
Yeah. I mean, just one thing
Yeah.
before we close this conversation, you know, a lot of people are in favor of solar energy and wind energy. But you mentioned a while ago that if we eat meat, we need to cut down trees and have cattle go there.
Yeah,
But if we use solar energy, we need to use solar panels.
yeah, that is true.
And that would also take a lot of space, I think,
Yeah,
as well as the wind energy.
yeah,
So that's my point. I mean, we need to really use our intelligence and figure out ways, but not go with something and then we have some other
another
problem,
issue. Yeah,
another issue caused by that. And if we use batteries, electric energy, well, who's going to make the batteries?
and the
What's
materials
going to
needed.
happen with that with those waste materials from batteries? How are we going to charge those batteries? What energy are we going to use? So we need to really look into this and really find good solution.
Completely agree with you on that.
Yeah.
I think it's we have to be responsible with what changes we are going to be making because
Right.
even if we find better energy resources, even as you very succinctly point out, what's going to be the method to use that energy, and is that method going to be as pollutant as the previous one, or
Right.
in what way are we going to improve the
That's
situation?
right. That's
So
right.
totally agree with you.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
Excellent. Thank you
nice.
for joining us, guys, and it's a pleasure to be here
Right.
speaking with the teacher Philip.
Take care. And if you have good solutions, well, let us know.
Yes, please.